Hello, dear students. Today we'll be discussing concept of climate change, definition, factors, and impact. This paper is environmental politics. It is useful for semester six students, DSE 4, and SEC 4 paper. First of all, what is the definition of climate change? Climate change refers to a significant change in global temperature. So it is not just global temperature, but apart from that, precipitation, that is rainfall, wind patterns, and other measures of climate that occur over several decades or longer. So, two or three things that we come to know from here is that climate change does not only mean global warming, that is the warming of the earth's temperature. It also means changes because of this rising temperature on the rainfall pattern, on the wind pattern, and other measures of climate. And it happens over several decades, so it is not a short term change. It is something that happens over the years. So while climate change and global warming are often used interchangeably, global warming is only one aspect of climate change. So there is not only a global average temperature rise, but there are also other associated factors that are related to climate change. Now, what are the causes of climate change? There are certainly natural causes and anthropogenic or man made causes. Firstly, natural causes of climate change can be sun's intensity. If the sun is emitting out more of heat, volcanic eruptions, and naturally occurring greenhouse gas concentration, for example, water vapor. So, water vapor is something which humans don't contribute directly. Indirectly, there can be increase in water vapor because of human-led activity, but these are the factors which are natural. So, according to NASA, these natural causes play a role, but their influence is very small. So, what is exactly causing climate change? So, after discussing the natural causes of climate change, we'll be discussing about the anthropogenic or the human related activities that lead to climate change. Firstly, we'll be talking about greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases, certain concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is absolutely essential for keeping the planet warm. However, what has happened is that their concentrations have increased more than required. So they have increased to levels unprecedented in at least the last 8 lakh years. So you can understand that human related activities is leading to an increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases. So these gases have special property to trap heat. So naturally the increase in their concentration is leading to an increase in the global temperature. We'll understand the phenomena of greenhouse gases in the next slide. So this is firstly the greenhouse effect. As I told you, greenhouse effect is a positive impact of the greenhouse gases. What do they do? This is the earth and this is our atmosphere. All the greenhouse gases that surround the earth's atmosphere, what do they do? The sun is releasing some of the sunlight, and that sunlight is reaching to the earth's surface. Now because of snow and other factors, most of it is 30% of it is reflected back, while some is absorbed by the greenhouse gases that are present here. So some sunlight that hits the earth is reflected and some becomes heat. So carbon dioxide and other gases mean the greenhouse gases. What do? They trap heat. Now heat is essential for sustaining life. If sun's energy, all of it would get reflected back, then earth would not get any kind of sunlight or sun rays or heat, and because of that it would become as cold as planets which do not have life on them. So greenhouse effect is not bad. What is greenhouse effect? It is the natural warming of the earth that results when gases in the atmosphere trap heat from the sun. that would otherwise escape into the space. So greenhouse effect is good. What they do, the greenhouse gases trap the heat that is coming from the sun. If they wouldn't have been there, then this gas would escape into the space, and without it the world would be a frozen place, more like Mars. So it is, greenhouse effect is a good thing. It warms the planet and keeps the temperature average, so we can live on the earth and it becomes livable. So greenhouse gas effect is not bad, it is a, what is the consequence of greenhouse gas effect if the problem is created? It is more because human caused greenhouse gas emissions are higher than ever. So definitely we are indulging in certain industrial or agricultural activities, or our lifestyle activities are such that we are emitting greenhouse gases more than required. So higher concentration of greenhouse gases, in this reference, we are specifically talking about carbon dioxide. What does it do? It traps extra heat. So, if the greenhouse gases are trapping more heat than what is required, what will happen? Global temperatures will automatically rise. So firstly, we understood what is greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is when the greenhouse gases trap the heat. And when does it become harmful? When human caused greenhouse gases emissions rise. So when they rise, automatically they will absorb extra heat, and because of that the temperatures are going to. Now, what are those greenhouse gases? It is very important from the examination point of view to understand what are greenhouse gases. Firstly, they are gases which have special ability to trap heat. So they let sunlight pass through the atmosphere, but they prevent the heat that the sunlight brings from leaving the atmosphere. So they will let the sunlight pass, but they will not let the heat escape, therefore making the earth a livable place. But when their concentrations increase, that time is the time when there is a phenomena of global warming. So what are these greenhouse gases? Quickly we are going to read. First of all, water vapor. I have not included it in the description in the following slides, because water vapor is something, is the most important greenhouse gas, yet it is, the source of greenhouse is through natural processes. Human do not directly increase this level. Indirectly the level of water vapor can increase through human activity, but water vapor, more or less the concentration or the level of water vapor is affected through natural causes. It is only carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbons that are caused by human activity. So you can see this, these are the greenhouse gases. So there is carbon dioxide, there is methane, there is nitrous oxide, there are perfluorocarbons, there is sulfur hexafluoride and hydrofluorocarbons. Remember all the names of these greenhouse gases. It is extremely important to know what are the gases that lead to global. Now, sources of greenhouse gases, we read about carbon dioxide. How do we increase the concentration of carbon dioxide? By burning fossil fuels and deforestation. How does deforestation lead to increase in carbon dioxide concentration? We know that the trees and the forest, they take up carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So naturally, if you cut the trees, if the trees are cut or if the forests are cleared, then naturally there will be more carbon dioxide in the air, because it is the trees that take up carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So their absence would mean gradually the increase in carbon dioxide. Next is methane. Methane accounts for 13% of the greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. And how are we adding it to the air daily? By coal mining. In fact, landfill emissions, wetlands, all of these, the production of natural gas, that also releases. Next is nitrous oxide. What are the sources of nitrous oxide? It contributes, it is also increasing at this rate per year, and the source for this is biomass burning, soil fertilization. So when we use ammonium fertilizers for plant growth, we are also adding nitrous oxide, and Nitrous oxide is also added because of deforestation. When we are clearing forest, and in that forest land we are building up agricultural fields. So nitrous oxide is one of the greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide, we read in the previous slide, that is also a very important greenhouse. And next we have the fluorinated gases. The examples are given here. They are emitted in smaller quantities, but why are they most potent, means most harmful? Because of their capacity to have a long lifespan. So once released, they can stay in the atmosphere for longer period of time, which means they are more dangerous compared to the other greenhouse gases. And when are fluorinated gases produced? When we produce aluminum and semiconductor manufacturing process involves the release of fluorinated. Now, what is the impact of climate change? Why are we discussing about climate change, or how the increase in Earth's temperature will result into harmful consequences? First of all, there will be extreme weather. So, higher temperature will increase the cause of disaster. For example, there will be heat waves, there will be flood. In fact, it can bring droughts also. So, entire weather pattern will change if there is any difference, major difference in the temperature. The next is health risk. We know that as global temperatures will rise, sea level will rise, all the ice and glaciers will melt. So naturally, uh, a warm and a wet world will give rise to insect-borne diseases like dengue fever, etc. And moreover, temperature rise will lead to heat stress, heat stroke, and other diseases. So it has, climate change also has health risk. Second is rising sea level. The Arctic is heating twice as fast. We know that the Arctic has ice cover. So as the ice sheets melt, definitely ocean levels will rise, and all those areas that are low lying, all of them will get flooded. So island nations, especially Mumbai, that is Mumbai, we know it is situated by the Arabian Sea, so it will also get submerged. New York, Miami, Sydney, all of these cities which are situated by the sea will get impacted. From that, the oceans will also suffer, because rising ocean temperature, we know that in oceans we have different kind of underwater species. So naturally, if the temperature for them increases beyond a level which they can tolerate, naturally they will be extinct, and there will be increasing acidification also. So these are some of the consequences climate change. And we also discuss about air pollution. Naturally, when the earth's temperature rise, our air will get dirtier, and certain allergic pollutants such as dam, because of the dam condition we'll have the formation of mold and pollens also because of the changing weather. So these are some of the impacts of climate change, not to mention that it will have a serious impact on agriculture, because crops require a particular kind of temperature. So there will be a problem of food, there will be food scarcity, there will be diseases all around, there will be, our oceans will lose all the marine ecosystem. Ecosystems like all the mammals, fish, birds, reptile, all of them, the 2015 study of IPCC reveals that all these species are disappearing at a much faster rate, and all of this is linked to climate change, pollution, and deforestation. So you can understand that climate change is so important that it can have serious impact on not only our health and ecosystem, but also the entire mankind and animal species of all kind, flora, fauna, all of it will suffer if climate change is not controlled. So this is it for today's lecture. We'll be discussing about India's efforts to deal with climate change in the next lecture. Thank you.